Hey everyone, Josh here. Today I want to talk about something that doesn't get nearly enough attention in the tech industry. Understanding and negotiating your total compensation package. Sure, salary is important, but there's a lot more to it. Things like RSUs, bonuses, 401k matching, PTO, health insurance, disability insurance, and more. So if you're out there job hunting or maybe even considering an offer right now, this video is for you. Let's go ahead and break it down. First up, let's talk about base salary. This is usually what most people focus on, and yeah, it's super important. After all, it's the cash you're going to see in your bank account every couple of weeks. As they say, cash is king, and it's hard not to zero in on that number. However, one thing to keep in mind is that while base salary is key, it's just one part of the puzzle. And the first part of that puzzle is definitely restricted stock units, or RSUs. RSUs can be a significant part of your total compensation package, especially if you're working for a public company or a startup on the path to going public. RSUs are essentially shares of company stock that are awarded to you, but they vest over a certain period of time, meaning you don't get all of them at once, but rather in increments, often over 4 years. However, here's where things get tricky, especially with startups. Not all startups succeed. In fact, according to statistics, about 90% of startups fail, and roughly 60% of those failures happen within the first 3 years. So while the potential upside of RSUs in a fast-growing startup can be huge, it's important to be aware that there's a real risk that the company might not make it, leaving those RSUs potentially worthless. For those of you who love the fast pace and excitement of startups, this risk might be worth taking, but it's not for everyone. I'll be honest, I've never worked at a startup myself, and while it can sound appealing, I tend to gravitate toward more established companies where the risks around RSUs are lower. Now, it's important to understand that there's a big difference between startup and a small company. A startup is generally trying to grow rapidly, often in search of product market fit or funding, and might not be profitable yet. On the other hand, a small company can be established, profitable, and stable just without the massive scale of larger companies. So when evaluating RSUs from a small company, the risk of those shares becoming worthless is usually lower, but the potential growth might also be slower compared to a fast-scaling startup. What happens if the company's stock drops though? Well, the value of your RSUs could plummet along with it. This is something that's out of your control, and it can be frustrating to watch the value of a significant part of your compensation decrease through no fault of your own. Also, if you get laid off or leave the company before your RSUs are fully vested, you usually lose any unvested shares. It's important to read the fine print in your offer and understand what happens to your stock if things don't go as planned, whether that's through company performance, a job change, or even an industry shift. If you quit early, only the vested portion of your RSUs will be yours to keep. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about jumping ship or if you have other offers in the pipeline. When considering an offer with RSUs, always ask yourself, how much are these worth right now, and what is the likelihood they'll be worth more or less in the future? A higher base salary might seem appealing at first, but if you're confident the stock will rise, those RSUs could pay off big in the long run. But don't forget the flip side, if things go south, they could end up being worth nothing. All right, let's talk about bonuses. There are a few different types: annual bonuses based on company or individual performance, signing bonuses, and sometimes retention bonuses. These can really sweeten the pot, especially if you're joining a fast-growing company or taking on a leadership role. Now, from my own experience, I've seen bonuses handled in a few different ways. Some companies I worked for pay random bonuses of $500 to $1,000 every few months, depending on performance. It wasn't really predictable, but it was a nice surprise when it happened. At other places, bonuses were structured as target bonuses at the end of the year based on overall performance. Both styles can really work, but it's important to understand what drives those bonuses. Keep in mind, the thing that makes a company more money is performance. Your manager might share certain metrics or goals, but you need to always think in terms of what will provide more value to the company. And just as important, how can you ensure you get the credit for the value that you bring? Don't assume your coworkers or manager will automatically give you the recognition you deserve. You have to advocate for your work. That's a skill in itself, and it's crucial not only for keeping your job, but also for getting more money from it. The way bonuses are structured can vary a lot from company to company, and that can work in your favor if you know how to navigate it. Generally, companies use bonuses to minimize their financial risk. They're not guaranteed like salary is, so understanding the performance metrics that matter most and positioning yourself to meet them is key. On a related note, sometimes companies also offer profit sharing through your 401k. This isn't as common as cash bonuses, but it's something to keep in mind when evaluating your overall compensation. Profit sharing can be a great way to build long-term wealth since it's tied directly to the company's financial success. It's less immediate than cash bonuses, but if your company does well, so does your retirement fund. Next on the list is 401k matching, and honestly, this is probably my favorite part of any compensation package. You might not be thinking about retirement right now, but trust me, the compounding effect is incredibly powerful over time. There's a famous quote about Warren Buffett, something like 94% of his wealth was made after the age of 60, which is just phenomenal. And that's the power of compounding. The earlier you start saving, the more time your money has to grow. Now, 401k contributions also come with tax benefits, which is another reason they're so important. If your company offers a match, make sure you're maxing it out because that's essentially free money. In 2024, you can contribute up to $23,000 yourself, but the combined limit with company matching is $69,000. That means if your company offers a high match, you can save way more towards your retirement than if you were just relying on your personal contributions. This is a big deal because you can only reach that $69,000 limit through company matching. Otherwise, you're stuck at the $23,000 cap, which honestly feels a bit limiting in my opinion. I think it's designed to encourage employers to help fund their employees' retirement accounts, but the reality is it ends up hurting lower income earners who don't have access to high employer matches. So when comparing job offers, really dig into the 401k match. A generous matching policy can be a game changer for your long-term financial security, and it's one of those benefits you'll be thankful for years down the line. All right, let's get into benefits like health and disability insurance. Health insurance is a major factor to consider, especially if you have a family. The premiums you pay can vary significantly between companies, and this could affect your take-home pay more than you would think. Disability insurance is also key. Some companies offer short-term and long-term disability plans that can protect you if something unexpected happens. While it's not the most exciting part of your compensation, it's something that you'll be grateful for if you ever need it. All right, PTO, paid time off. It's often overlooked, but it's a huge part of your compensation package. Let's say you're deciding between two jobs. One offers $120,000 a year with 4 weeks of PTO, and another offers $130,000 a year, but only 2 weeks of PTO. Which one do you take? Here's a quick calculation I like to do. Take your salary and divide it by the number of work days in a year. At $120,000, 1 day of work is worth approximately $461. If one job offers 2 extra weeks of PTO, that's 10 more days of paid time off, which is equivalent to an additional $4,610 in salary. When comparing offers, factoring in PTO like this can give you a better overall picture of what you're really getting. I usually put this into an Excel sheet to compare different offers. I'll calculate the value of each benefit to get the salary equivalent, and that really helps me see the whole picture. So when it comes to evaluating a job offer, don't just look at base salary. Add everything up: base, bonuses, RSUs, 401k match, PTO, and benefits like health insurance. Once you put a dollar amount on everything, you'll see a much clearer picture of what you're actually getting. And remember, this isn't just about comparing apples to apples. It's about making sure you're getting the best possible compensation for the work that you're doing. All right, so when it comes time to negotiating, don't be afraid to ask questions about the whole package, not just the salary. Ask about bonus structures, RSU vesting schedules, 401k matching policies, and what happens with unused PTO. The more you know, the better you'll be able to negotiate. And here's a pro tip. If you're comparing multiple offers, use what you've learned to negotiate. For example, if one company offers more PTO, but another offers a higher base salary, bring that up in your discussions. So that's my breakdown of tech job compensation packages and how to make sure you're getting what you deserve. Remember, cash is king, but total compensation is what really matters. Use tools like spreadsheets to compare and understand the true value of each offer. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below with any questions you have about tech job offers. With that, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.